Welcome back to the channel everyone, and welcome back to another of my 12 car videos from Cornish car collectors. Boy, is it difficult knocking out a half decent video every single day, particularly over the Christmas period and with Storm Gerrit outside really causing some nasty weather conditions here in the UK. Anyway, I've failed, and the knock-on impact of everything that I've said, plus a road trip that I'm taking, which I will share with you all very, very soon, means I'm probably going to struggle to maintain this daily video output, but I'm going to persevere, do as many of them as I can each day, and I will get through all 12 videos of the Cornish Car Collectors series, this series. Thank you so much for those of you who are following. Anyway, what are we going to talk about today? Well, today, this video is all about my 3 Ford Focuses. My Mk1 Ford Focus RS, my Mk3 Ford Focus RS, and this, my Mk2 Ford Focus ST. So in this video, you can expect me to tell you the things I like about these cars, the things I don't like about them. I'll tell you what my plans are with these cars, and I'll rank them in that favourite scale that we're slowly building up over this series of videos. So please stay tuned for all of that. So let's work through these Focuses in order, and that means starting with my Mk1 Ford Focus RS, which I absolutely adore. To me, it is a fast Ford icon. If you've been following the channel for a while, then you'll be familiar with this one. We've featured it quite a bit on the channel. In fact, it was the first video that we ever put out, thanks to my son suggesting that we do a bit of YouTube. What do I like then about my RS Mk1? Well, firstly, that it is an iconic car. Now, I know that's a phrase used a lot, probably overused in the fast Ford world, but to me, the Mk1 Focus RS, which was bespoke built by Ford, is as iconic as the Sierra Cosworth 3-door and the Escort Cosworths that came before. Values are increasing, but based on those iconic Fords that have been before, well, these should be skyrocketing about now. Now, I love the colour, that imperial blue. I love those OZ wheels and the Sparco interior, which of course was a break from the norm for Ford, who usually partnered with Recaro when it came to their sports seats. As for the mileage, well, this puts me into something of a quandary. You see, I am sure most of us would love a low mileage, pristine example of a Focus RS Mk1. It certainly helps with the value of these cars. But I also really like the fact that the car has had a life, that it's been used. It is, what, 20 years old, so it's done less than 7,000 miles per year. There isn't much I don't like about the RS Mk1, about my RS Mk1 to be honest. It is an animal to drive thanks to the modifications, but I do like my cars to be standard. You'll see in the previous videos on this car how I've taken the interior and much of the exterior back to a standard look. But as for that engine, well, that's a whole nother story. Oh, there are 2 things that I don't like about my Focus RS Mk1. First of all, that awful aftermarket aerial, that's got to go. And secondly, the fact that at some point in the future, well, I'm going to need to do an underside restoration, as most of these Mk1 RSs need. Okay, on next then to my Mk2 Ford Focus ST, which is another car I really, really like. So pretty. If you've been watching the channel, again, for a while, then you'll know this car's featured a lot. I bought this car from a trade auction. We've been proving it up to kind of what you see here today. I wanted a Colorado red car, and that's one of the first things I really like about this car is the colour. I wanted the Colorado red car, I've got it, and I wanted an ST1, which is what this is. The other thing I like about it, well, of course, it's that lovely 2.5 5-cylinder engine. The car is fast and, well, in fact, it's probably the best balance of all 3 of my Focuses. It's got such nice power, such nice performance, and you feel really connected when driving this car. It's absolutely brilliant. I am a big fan of this. But the best bit, by far, about this car for me, well, it's a part of the car that I'll probably never use. And it's that lovely rear Recaro bench seat, which is a properly rare option on this car and actually makes this ST1 a 4-seater. What are the things I don't like about it? I had to think hard about this, and I probably should remove the wheel spaces as I return this car to a more standard look, but that really is about it. Neither my Mk1 RS or my ST have actually been on the road during 2023. They get started up and moved fairly regularly, but they've not actually been on the road, and they're definitely going on the road in the spring and summer of 2024 because I have really missed driving these cars. Fantastic driving cars. On to then my RS Mk3, which again is featured a lot here on the channel, including buying it and bringing it back from Scotland. You may have seen that video. It's a car that, well, I feel very privileged to own. Is it going to be the last RS product ever made by Ford? We'll wait and see, but to own one and to drive one, well, I feel very lucky indeed. So what do I love about this car? Well, I love the nitrous blue paint. This is basically two colours, as it's almost a flat blue in the shade, and when it's in the sunshine, well, it's a deep metallic shine. It's such a fantastic colour. I like the shell seats. I love the performance that this car gives me, and most of all, I love that this Mk3 Focus is my son's favourite car. I bought the nitrous blue car with the black forged wheels and the shell seats because that's the spec he wanted. That's the spec he's got in Forza Racing. What don't I like about this car? The shell seats, they look great. Boy, do they look great, but they take some climbing into. I wouldn't change them though. I also feel that whilst this car is excellent to drive, and it really, really is, you feel maybe a little disconnected from the drive. I'm not complaining, it is a fantastic car, but if you took the RS Mk3 on a track, well, it makes you a better driver. It really, really does, and you'd lap really quickly if you're on a track. You'd be quick. But if you do the same in the Mk1 Focus RS, sure, you'll be slower, but you wouldn't feel slower. It would feel faster, it would feel thrilling. Well, you'd just be glad that you survived. What are my plans with my Focuses? Well, the first thing to say is I'd love to take, I suppose, my Mk1 and this Mk2 ST onto a rolling road. They've been modified and modified before I bought the cars. I'd love to know what power they're putting out. They both had fresh oil, they've both got new cam belts on them, they're totally match fit to do it. So maybe in this year ahead we'll do that. In fact, if you're watching, you're local and you've got access to a rolling road, please do get in touch. I'd love to put these on there and know what power they're making. The Mk1 Focus RS as well, that does need to be tuned. It needs to be retuned really. At around 70 miles an hour, it's coming off and on boost all the time. It's a bit frustrating. So maybe we'll get to that this year. And I'd love to take a car to the Nürburgring, and I think one of these Focuses would be brilliant to do that drive. I'm not talking about the RS Mk1, I wouldn't take that, but this ST or the Mk3 RS would be brilliant. I'm not much of a racer, but I just like the idea of the road trip and just driving around the ring a couple of times. I say I'm not a racer, we'll see when I eventually get to do it, albeit I believe that it's further to drive, longer to drive from here in Cornwall to Folkestone, to the Channel Tunnel, than it is once you get the other side there in Calais and drive all the way down to the Nürburgring. But, you know, it's a road trip I fancy doing, so one day maybe we'll get to that. Okay, let's talk about where these Focuses actually land on my league table, my current league table of cars. Where do I rank these cars? Well, we'll do it in reverse order. We've gone through the cars in chronological order. Let's go back the other way. So my Mk3 Focus RS, well, that goes here. The ST Focus, the Mk2 ST Focus, goes here for me. And I said it'd be a top 5 car. Here's my Focus RS Mk1. So this has been a really short feature on my Focuses, just bringing you up to date and telling you the things that I like and I don't like. If you've not seen the videos on these cars, please do go back and take a look. I love these Focuses. I think the chassis in these cars, the way that they drive, the way they handle, well, in standard car form is excellent. So put these hot engines into them and well, they make fantastic hot hatches. In tomorrow's video, well, it's going to be that road trip, and I'm actually adding a new car to the collection, so make sure that you tune in for that. Thank you so much for following this series. I will get these videos out as soon as I possibly can. I just really appreciate the fact that you're watching, that you're subscribing, thank you, that you're liking the videos, and that you're getting in touch, and we're having a bit of a conversation about these through the comments. It's brilliant. Glad you're enjoying them. I'm certainly enjoying making them, and I will see you on the next one. Tomorrow's is going to be, well, an epic road trip. Thank you and bye for now. Bye-bye.